who gets pushed around, and they are silent voices, and they need somebody to speak up for them and make the world aware that there are these things going on, and people really should learn more about HIV. It is only a virus that lives in a person, but it doesn't change the human being.
It's so cruel, and leaves me lost for words, really. And anything I can do to dispel stigma and discrimination, I'll do it.
Stultifying their lives, you know. Well, they have fears of rejection, they have fears of the cruelest thing about HIV, as opposed to other illnesses, is it deprives people of love. You know, people, well, it deprives people of love.
23 years ago, when I was diagnosed, I had an awful lot of, I experienced an awful lot of stigma and discrimination. And I was diagnosed, I was a drug user, I was diagnosed in prison, and I was instantly put in a cell and isolated, and my food passed through a hatch, and nobody to talk to. And it was at the time when there were all those ads in the media, you know, the tombstone ads, and you know, I had bricks in my window. My family originally wouldn't come and pick up the Christmas presents. It was Christmas, and so I suppose I was interested to see what changes there'd been. I've been very shocked and angered, really, that ultimately not much has changed.
And the amazing thing about peer-led research and experience was the minute somebody realised that they were being interviewed with somebody that's gone through that moment, and you're told, I'm afraid your HIV test is positive, it put the entire process into a different place. And there was much more buy-in at lots of levels. You know, people felt empowered to share some stories that perhaps they wouldn't have otherwise. And we've got some of our researchers here with us tonight who would maybe share part of that process with you.
My name is Pamela from London, Wembley. For me, as a researcher and as a person living with HIV, it was a privilege and honor to have people to trust me enough to talk about their experiences throughout their years of living with HIV. And some of the experiences they have not shared with their family and close friends.
My overriding experience was a sense of dismay, often at the recognition that we were working with people who were in the main being crushed by an experience of stigma, that it directly affected their well-being in its broadest sense.
Okay. I'm called Adela, and I live in Manchester. I'm Mancunian, but I don't have the accent yet. If people knew what living with HIV is really like, would they stop stigmatizing others? This is my question to you.
Do you remember when summer lasted a lifetime, and one ice cream filled you up? A special smile that lit you up? Do you remember a song, or a formation dance? A picnic on a hill that gave you ants inside your pants? Do you remember when you laughed so much you thought you'd be sick? Or when you stood your ground, fought for a cause, the bow that you took to a round of applause? Do you remember the hug that saved you? Or the tree in the woods with your initials engraved, being sent out of class for being badly behaved, pretending to be grown up, your first pub, your first club, getting pissed up, loved up, felt up. Do you remember the kiss that made you feel like you were flying, or the long-awaited reunion with arms unfurled, and do you remember the day that the news came, and something fell out of your world? When you felt like a drop in the ocean, every day red raw, and what is there to celebrate anymore? But it is not over. Look at us all. Look at us all. We're here, now, and we can make changes. Take the power from this force that rearranges our lives and turn it into something good. Something without pretense, that makes sense, Something that takes the painful stuff, the hurtful stuff, the heart-wrenching, stomach-splitting anger and frustration we all feel, and helps us to celebrate every friend we have, every lover we have, and every second we have. Every second is part of a minute, an hour, a day. Every drop is a part of the ocean. Don't ever underestimate the part that you can play, and we can do it. We can do it. There is a way through it, and we can find it. Grab life with both hands and shake it, and remind it that we will never give up. And whether it's for others, or just for ourselves, we can do that if we choose. And that way, I guarantee, we will never lose the memories of what has gone before. And we can make more. You owe it to yourself to let the world see all the beautiful things you've got in store. Because it can stigmatize and isolate, but that's actually worth nothing when you remember it can't beat us, because it cannot stop us loving. It will never stop us loving. It will never stop us loving. So before tonight ends, please, let's all make a pact to remember, celebrate, and act.
Thank you very much for inviting me to share this evening with you. And I ask you please to raise your finger, like we did before, and to say after me, give Stigma the index finger. Thank you.
We see somebody else with some colours. Lazarus. You need some more colours?
The point of this week is to really look at where we've come from, where we're going, and together discuss the best way forward, if you like. The group here at the moment is looking at what's called a Rivers of Life, and they're drawing visually, all in metaphors and pictures, about for them what it meant, why they got involved in the project first, then what their individual journey has been as being part of this team working with the Stigma Index, and then the last bit is their individual vision for where we go from here.
The first one is, the reflections of the thoughts that I have, as a person who is living positively with HIV. And I've, felt this burning desire inside me to challenge the society and also try and educate them to, get them to learn a bit more so that they become more understanding and tolerant of people living with HIV. The next bit I'm going to draw is my involvement with the Stigma Index, the exercise and the people that were, the diversity of the people that were involved in the exercise of gathering all the information.
So this is the start of the journey for me here, this X, kind of looking out, if you like. Comedy, drag queen eye makeup. So basically when I was diagnosed, things kind of went down, you know what I mean? And so I kind of had a decision really about what I was going to do, and I figured that for me, I thought, if I'm going to be in bed with this HIV malarkey for the next 40 years, I'm going to make damn sure I'm friends with it. So this kind of road really, if you like, turned into a bit of a race. I thought, what am I going to do? There was a big learning curve. So I had to kind of learn the basics of HIV 18 months ago. So there was quite a steep learning curve, if you like, here, to the point where I get involved in the Stigma Index. It was kind of a blossoming, if you like, there. So I've drawn a flower, because that was where things started to grow. And the thing that kind of made it remarkable, if you like, was we really grounded things. There was roots that went down here that really made it safe. But we're really conscious as well that the eyes of other people were on us, other organisations, people living with HIV. So there was a responsibility from the team, from us to kind of engage to get it right, because we were clear that if we had kind of taken this on board, the roots could have become rotten, so we had to really focus on being grounded. So we've reached this plateau here, and that's where everybody's come to this place. I've drawn a heart around it so we can actually look at the root of this, why we did it, what we're doing it for, and where we want to go. And we're at this place here where we're going to build this piece of work. to move forward so we can actually start affecting change in all directions.
I'm making my feelings on the paper and how I came to be involved in this project. It was because I felt my heart was broken, so I've put a broken heart. And the next stage, I'm going to put the heart together, picking up the pieces, and then the final stage, I'm going to put the heart embraced. It's all about love.
Thank you.